Hi folks, I'm in Jedburgh today. I just thought I would pop in and make a quick video of this while I'm here. I'm at Jedburgh Greyfriars, as you can see there, and this is the site of what used to be a Franciscan monastery, which was built I think in 1583 if I remember correctly. And it basically, this board here tells you what Greyfriars garden was. I've said 1583 it was built, but I'm wrong. It says here Jedburgh Friary did not survive the Reformation of 1560, and its whereabouts were not confirmed until 1982, when archaeologists established its location and began to excavate its remains. Results of that work have proved to be the most extensive physical record of a medieval friary in Scotland. In acknowledgement, Borders Regional Council, or Scottish Borders Council as it's now called, in 1983 created this public garden to display the surviving remains and explain their significance. And the rest of this board goes on and basically it tells you what a Franciscan knight was. And this board here tells you how the friary was organised. The friary contained all the buildings and gardens needed to house and support the religious community and covered at least 5 hectares. At the centre was the cloister, which is there, and a continuous covered passage around an open square, which not only provided access between different buildings, but also served as a workplace in its own right. 3 of the friars are buried in Cloister Alley. The Friary Church was the largest building and occupied the south side of the cloister. Today a private house occupies the greater part of its site. Here friars celebrated the various services of the monastic day, and that there is the house. A store building or cellarium stood on the west side of the cloister, where it was conveniently located for unloading provisions for Friars Gate. Opposite the church was the frater, or principal room, where the brothers met to enjoy a frugal meal after they had washed their hands at the laver outside the door. A raised dais at one end of the room provided an area for the senior friars and any honoured guests. And lying beneath the new boundary wall of the car park are the sites of the chapter house, where the business meetings of the friary were held. The slip or passage, which gave access from the outside, and a parlour, which was a small meeting room, arches in the modern wall link the visible wall lines in the garden, with structures buried beneath the car park, but indicated by lines of brick sets. So if I was to go into the car park there, we would actually see outlines indicated by brickwork. Now there are some gravestones in the garden here. I don't think there are any names on any of them. Possibly one there, there's a cross there. I do know that was a wall. Quite a nice wee setting here, and you can hear some traffic, but it's when you step in through the gate there, until you're standing here, you can it's hard to believe you're right in the centre of Jedburgh. Quite a busy wee town. The friars who lived here in Jedburgh followed the rule of St. Francis of Assisi, which dated from 1223, and set out how a friar should observe the Holy Gospel and live a useful and chaste life in poverty. Novices were provided with basic clothes, but only received shoes after the first year, and only if they were necessary. 8 church services were held in the course of each day, from matins at about 1:30 a.m. to compline at 8 p.m. In summer, the days ended earlier in winter. Between these times, friars took their one meal of the day and spent their time at work or in contemplation in the cloister. In contrast to the Augustinian canons Jedburgh, the friars had great freedom to move about outside the monastery walls and help the townspeople in a variety of ways. The rule forbade them from receiving money in exchange, but allowed them to receive that which is necessary for themselves and their brothers, such as food, shelter or clothes. Friars had access to monastic libraries which contained not only religious writings, but also a wide range of other information that enabled them to act as private tutors, treat the sick and draw up legal documents. In the general absence of schools, doctors and lawyers, these services were highly valued by the local population. And here we have a little something on the dates. Now, I know I was wrong. I said 1583 and I was totally wrong. Jedburgh Friary had a very short life. It was the last monastery to be built in Scotland and lasted only about 60 years. The exact date of its foundation has not survived, but Franciscan friars had established themselves in the town by 1505, when the High Lord Treasurer of Scotland paid 24 shillings to the Greyfriars of Jedburgh, or Greyfriars of Jedburgh, for 2 barrels of beer. In 1525, King James V visited Jedburgh, and the friars presented him with a gift of a plate of cherries from their orchard, and the king showed his gratitude with a present of 40 shillings, which would represent hundreds of people in today's money. Hundreds of pounds, in today's money. The board here's cracked, so I'm finding it quite hard to read some of it. A hugely inflated price for cherries. The peaceful life of the friary was shattered on at least 3 occasions when English troops serving King Henry VIII attacked and pillaged the town. The Earl of Surrey led the first attack in 1523, and his friar Adam Abel recorded "Burnt ye town of Jedburgh." In 1544, the town given to the English men by the chants of "War ye gunners, burnt ye abbey," the Greyfriars, the Divers Bastell and fortified houses, whereof were many in that town. 1 year later, the Earl of Hertford burnt the town all over again. If the friary recovered from these assaults, its days were numbered, as were those of all Scotland's monastic houses, which were closed down after the Reformation of 1560. By the late 16th century, the remaining friars had been pensioned off or had moved to the continent to continue their devotions. The land on which the friary stood reverted to the original donors, the Kerr family of Ferniehurst Castle, and the site was levelled for cultivation as gardens and orchards. So, a little bit about the history of the garden here. I've got it mapped out, so it basically places what was where throughout the garden. There's precinct wall. There was the dais. This bit here was the freighter. I'm not exactly sure if Cloister Alley is where you walk on the gravel there, or if it's the grass here. But the airward board told us that there was 3 other monks were buried in Cloister Alley. I do know there's gravestones in here. I pointed one out earlier in the video. Here's down in the cloister. There's another gravestone there. The chapter house. Parlour. It's a nice wee seat here to be able to just sit and relax and enjoy. I'm not going to, it's wet. Anyway, I think I've filmed enough here. Interesting wee place to come and visit if you're ever in Jedburgh. Anyway, I hope this video hasn't bored you. Hope you have enjoyed watching it, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching now. Thanks. Bye bye.